Okay, I think we're ready. So, until we were transported to Harvard, we hadn't really talked too much about education, but that's what I'm going to be doing. Um, this is me. I teach at College of the Canyons. It's not quite.
I think you need to keep doing
No.
it, take it and walk around. So
The reason I don't like to hold the mic is because I wave my hands around. I'm not Italian, but yeah, so I teach at College of the Canyons. I teach English. I've been doing that for some time. And you'll all remember in this room that ChatGPT 3 came out in November 2022. It was in my classroom in December 2022. Not from me, from my students. And they were writing some really good essays, or so it looked. So I didn't know what ChatGPT was because my husband's mealtime conversation hadn't got to that. But it looked like plagiarism because I got two very similar essays from two students who were working together. So that brought up all these issues about, is using AI cheating? Can you use it with integrity? Can you monitor the use of AI in the same way that you use plagiarism tools? So on campus, I got involved in various constituent groups on campus that are concerned about using resources with integrity. We have to be concerned about students' safety when we're exposing them to all these things. I used to use turnitin.com. I don't know if you know about that, but it's a plagiarism checker, it tells itself. Students don't really need a plagiarism checker because they know when they've plagiarized. They don't need somebody to tell them that it's 80%. And now turnitin.com has an AI component to it as well. So we were concerned about academic integrity for both faculty and for students, that we're teaching them how to work with integrity. That's the major goal. We're worried about academic freedom, and we're worried about the compliance that we have to have with Title V and all those kinds of things. So I got involved in all these groups on campus. And a lot of my colleagues are, how I think I put it politely here, reluctant to engage with AI. And some of them are retiring because they just don't want to deal with this anymore. So this is not education. They spend so much time finding ways to catch students using AI, which I think is a fool's errand. I mean, you will never catch it all. And then what do you do once you've done that? Do you report them to student conduct and so on? So I've been looking for ways in the last year or so. I've been looking for ways to incorporate it into my work, and finding ways for it to make my job easier. These are examples of the kind of communication I get from my students. For the most part, post-COVID, can we say post-COVID yet? I don't know. But recently I've been teaching online. So those reluctant colleagues will say, oh, it's so much easier to cheat online. It's easy to cheat if you're sitting in the same room. People didn't start cheating because of ChatGPT, we know that, right? These are some of the emails I get from people. And I didn't copy and paste because I am concerned about my students' privacy, but this is very close to what I actually get. 10:40 p.m. Hi, Prof. I thought there was something due today, but I can't find it. I've looked everywhere. I'm sure they haven't looked everywhere. Can you get right back to me so I don't have to lose points for late work? Thanks, have a good evening. 10:40. Now this is partially a factor of teaching online. And you have to discipline yourself to say, no, I'm going to stop looking at emails. I haven't perfected that yet. Because I also read this one quite close to the time it was sent. 4:15 a.m. Dear Professor Rassool, this sounds nice. I completed the day one assignment roll call and syllabus, and I responded to another student who did a really good job. Discussion boards are not a good thing. Pedagogically, they're not a good thing. But what people do, when you tell them they have to respond to somebody, they say, you did a really good job. So that's kind. I'm waiting to get my textbook. Amazon says it's on its way. Is there anything more I should be doing this week? These are very typical kinds of emails I get. And my job is to not respond to them too quickly because the response would be not with academic integrity. We're going to that last question. The last question was really good. The last question was, I think it was something like, oh, yes, it was, Dear Ruth, some of them do that. I looked at the essay prompt and it was a semiotic analysis of consumerism. Can I write about dialectical materialism? It's kind of close, but not close enough. So I was looking for ways to make that part of my job more simple. So I said to my good friend Balaji, could you take the data that I have? I use this, my institution uses this education platform called Canvas. Good, you're nodding. Blackboard, same kind of thing. Where, again, we have a privacy issue because I'm saying to students, upload all your data, all your assignments, your essays, everything. Put it all in Canvas and I'll grade it there. I have currently 60 classes on Canvas over the years, and a lot of it is repeated. So I'd like to be able to take my syllabi and just update them and then move it on to the next course. Let's do, so I asked my assistant here a series of questions. Can I use ChatGPT? You need to type. As well.
What kind of type are you?
Okay.
Can I use ChatGPT?
Yes, you can use ChatGPT as a tool for assistance in your course, British Literature Roman 2 at College of Canyons. However, it's important to remember that while ChatGPT can provide helpful information and insights, it should not replace your own critical thinking and analysis. As Ruth Rassool mentioned in the syllabus, the goal is to adapt these new learning tools to enhance our ability to analyze, think critically, and form our own opinions. So, while ChatGPT can be a valuable resource, it's essential to use it wisely and not rely solely on its generated responses.
Now, you can see there are 3 citations there, and that will take you to the point in my syllabus. It will take you to a point in the video lecture where I've mentioned it. So that's all pretty accurate. What this is telling me, though, is that I need to refine my language in my syllabus, because I would much rather she didn't say, yes, you can, if, and the rest of the explanation. I'd rather she said no, unless you do these other things. So that's just, a rhetorical situation that I'm in.
Can I ask her the last question?
Ask her.
I'll ask the last question.
Okay, so this data is taken from a British literature class. It's British Literature 2. One of the questions I asked it was, can I write about Shakespeare? it said, yes, you can, because what I realized was that unpublished stuff in Canvas is still accessible to this data. So it said, yes, you can. And I said, no, you can't, you can't. And then the rest of it was about modernism and Virginia Woolf. And so Reza asked this question.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is a play written by Edward Albee. It premiered on Broadway in 1962 and went on to win multiple awards, including the Pulitzer Prize for Drama and the Tony Award for Best Play. The play explores the complex relationship between a married couple, Martha and George, as they engage in a late-night conversation and games with a younger couple, Nick and Honey. The title refers to the character Virginia Woolf, a prominent British author, and her impact on the characters' lives and relationships.
Okay, so that's very different to when you tried it.
It's not British literature. I hope you all know that, right? But because of the other questions were about Virginia Woolf, then she said, I think you're getting confused because you're asking me about Virginia Woolf. That's a play, she told him, not part of the syllabus. So you've got to be careful about, as always, good data going in, then you get a reasonable output. And you've got to be careful what you think is unpublished that it can still access. So it's going to help us refine the language of our material, our course content.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Back to Matt.
Thank you, Ruth. Appreciate that.